Hey, what is up, guys? It's Roach here, and today I have a garage showcase for you guys, and it's going to be a pretty fun one. I haven't shown these off, but to only my friends, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, first one up we have in this apartment. So right here is the Stilt apartment garage, and this is where all my new cars are. They're pretty fun to drive around, but most of them are recent. So first up we have the Sultan, which is probably my favorite car right now because it's the newest. But it's the fully customized one, and it's themed lemon lime, which kind of goes for my crew, which is the lemon ballers. So it's pretty cool to drive around sometimes. But yeah. So next up we have the Coquette, which is an old crew red that I used to have, and I think it fits the car very well. And the black complements it as well. So this is the Sentinel that you can find at Eclipse Towers from the weird night times. And next we have the Obey 9F, which is the weird orange and gasoline green combination, which my friends and I recognize as lizard colors. I don't know why. So next up we have the Bollock and Prairie, which is a highly underrated car. It's a compact car, so it's really good for compact races like that, and it's also really good for drifting since it's a front wheel drive, and I feel like the black complements it very well as well. So next up we have the Voodoo, which is very uncustomized for the customizability it has, and I don't have any hydraulics or anything like that on it. I'm kind of in a predicament where I can't get that right now. And yeah, so next up we have the Furore GT, which is a really nice car that most people take for granted, and it's actually pretty cheap, and it's also really good. The handling might not be great, but it's a great show-off weapon, and I feel like the white and gold complement it very well. And I'd highly recommend it if you're trying to look stylish and drive extremely great at the same time. So next we have the Cognoscenti. It's the armored version. I bought it mostly for style, but the strength of it complements as well. And it doesn't really have any window protection unlike the Kuruma, but it also works really well. So this is the 6x6, and it's red and green for the Christmas time, and I bought this over the Christmas season, and I really like it a lot, and it was my first time ever buying it, so I enjoyed it even more. So this is the garage that I really enjoy. It's got all of my motorcycles in it, and this is in 4 Hangman Avenue, which I believe now you can't buy. It's one of these smaller houses that came a while back, and I really enjoy it a lot. So this is where I store most of my bikes, and I have a few more in another garage. But firstly, we have the Pegassi Ruffian, or Ruffian, depends on how you call it. Next, we have the Shizu Vader. Then this is the Nemesis, which I found before they had the ability to buy it, and it's always been a peacemaker for me because it's really good for stunting. So this is the Dinka Double T, and it has a special place in my heart because the second race I ever played on GTA was a motorcycle race, and I lost to a pink Dinka Double T while I was on a body, and I've had it in my garage ever since. I feel like the pink really complements it. So next up we have the Akuma with that bright blue that my Sentinel had. And lastly we have the gold and white body, which I think really complements it because of how much body work there is on the body itself. So this is the garage at Eclipse Towers, apartment number 40, which is the 400K apartment, which I not proudly bought while we still had billions of dollars. But it's been the first apartment that I bought, and I'll probably keep it from then on. So first up we have the Dinka Jester, which I got in the business update, and it's always been really nice looking to me, and I still can't find an exact copy of what it is in real life, which hurts me a lot because I really want to buy one of these in real life when I have enough money. So next up we have the Voltic, which is probably my favorite car, and I originally mistook it for a Lotus. And now that I know that it's a Tesla, I enjoy it even more. And I feel like the purple and black really fit the midnight version of the car that I've made, and it's really sleek and agile whenever you drive it, and I use it for a lot of things, especially tag, which is kind of a fun game to play. Next we have the Carbonizare, which has been in my garage forever, and for the longest time actually I didn't know that you could convert it down, so I've always been driving it hardtop, and that's actually really funny because I've had this car forever and never knew about that. It, it kind of stuns me how dumb I am sometimes, but it's whatever. Next up we have the Grotti Turismo R, which I got in the business update as well as the Jester on the very first day. And I feel like it should stay in my garage forever because I've loved it, and it's such a great car even though it can hit curves from time to time. So next up we have the Zentorno, which has been very special to me because of how fast it is, as well as it is the fastest supercar I have. I do not have the T20 or the Osiris because I feel like they're overrated. Next we have the Entity, which used to be my favorite supercar before they added the business and high life updates, but it still has a special place in my heart after all of these years. Next up we have the Adder, which, even though it's terrible at handling, it still used to be the fastest car, and it still used to be the most expensive car in the game. And I haven't changed this color but only one time, and it was originally black and red, but now it's a black and orangey red, which I feel suits the car better since it's a bright and peppy car. So the Picador is a funny story because my friend originally wanted me to store it so we could play it in a game later on, but I just never moved it because this was the closest garage, and I said I was always going to move it to another garage, but I never got to it, so I guess I'm going to leave it there from now on. That doesn't really affect anything, but it's fine. Whatever. And I feel like it suits this garage great. So next up we have the Massacro. Also bought this in the High Life update with the Zentorno. Felt the black and yellow really fit the High Life update, and also the pink roll bar. I originally bought it pink, so you can't correct it. So this is the Feltzer. The white is really bright since it's originally based off of a Mercedes, and this used to be my favorite car, and I think it's the most beautiful because of the canards and the huge spoiler on the back, and it still is one of my favorite cars in all of my garages. So lastly we have the 331 Supply Street, which is not proudly near Los Santos Customs, which used to be used for a lot of glitches, which I do not proudly say because that's how I used to be and used to want to get money cheaply and fast, and that's the main reason I bought this, but it still pains me today that I would buy it for such a reason. But for the cars, I guess they're alright. First we have the Albany Buccaneer, which I've been waiting to get upgraded in Benny's, but I just don't have the money. I mean, it's insane, $750,000. But I only have $41,000, so I don't think I'm ever going to have that happen. So next up we have the Mercenary Jeep, or Mesa, which I've been waiting to customize but just never got around to it. So next up we have the Sadler, which I just grabbed one day off the street, thought it looked cool, and took it to a mod shop and spent $100,000 on it. That's pretty much the only reason I have it here. It's also really good for having a utility race. So next up we have the Sentinel, which is my old Cruise Blue. And I feel like this suits the style of the Sentinel and just the way it flashes. And if you drive it to certain areas in Los Santos, it's so bright you can't. It's almost blinding. So next up we have the Elegy, which has changed colors only one time. It used to be a blue, but I've kept it at a yellow for the longest time. The only thing that has changed is the middle bit where it's black and orange. It used to be all blue, and I believe I changed it to black one time. But I think I've found a nice place where it can stay right now. Next up we have the Thrust, which I originally bought out of pure curiosity, but I think I'm going to keep it just because it's a cruising bike and it's really nice to drive around, especially in the LS River, which is right behind this garage. And overall it's a pretty nice bike, even though it goes as super underrated. So next up we have Pantos, which the Panto is so great. it goes underrated because it's compact, as well as I've had it since the very beginning of the hipster update, and the main reason I bought it was for this game mode that me and my friends made up, known as Panthers versus Liberators. And basically, a Panto has to drive as fast as they can away from a group of Liberators who have to try to stop it, trap it, explode it, stop it from moving in some way possible. And yeah, that's the main reason why I still have it today. And I think the Shakutangu exhaust in the back is just stunning on it, just because it's a straight novelty car, nothing else. I feel like Rockstar added this just for that reason, none else. So next up we have the Bifta, and the Bifta I originally bought at the beginning of the Beach Bum update, but then sold and recently bought back within the past 6 months. And the orange and blue is a cool combination because they're complementary colors first of all, but also have an outfit that fits with it as well. It's beach themed and it's orange and blue with a tank top and such. So lastly we have the blue Sanchez, which I use. It's very great for stunts, very great for off-roading, and overall just a great bike to drive in the Ellis River and all over the mountains of Blaine County. So that's it guys for the video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe for more content, and hopefully I can get some Call of Duty and GTA videos out for you soon. But this has been Roach, and